Welcome to MarketPulse Pros and Pioneers. Each week, I talk with industry leaders on both marketing and entrepreneurship and business to find out all about their wins and failures in marketing right now. We'll hear all about successes and wins and what's fallen flat so that you can take that knowledge and implement it. Learn from the best, from the folks who've been there and done it all, as well as people just like you. Thanks for joining us. This is MarketPulse Pros and Pioneers.
And welcome to another episode of MarketPulse Pros and Pioneers. I'm Paul, the host here at the show, and this week I've got a very special guest, Alan Pilkington. Welcome to the show. Thanks very much for coming along.
Thanks for having me, Paul. Good day.
We've had some, if you can't tell, I'm not in my usual camera position, so we've had some technical issues. I think we've solved them all, but just goes to show that if you are running your own podcast or you think you're about to run your own podcast, you need more technical support than you think you do need. Alan here is founder and CEO at Digital Facilitators, who are dedicated to connecting businesses in the digital agency world. And as we were talking before the show, Alan was talking quite passionately about how when they make connections, it's more about personality lined up with the client's individual needs. I think that's something that is definitely missing in that kind of ecosystem and referral environment. More than that, Alan's also got 15 years in digital marketing experience involving roles at Google, Bobble Digital, and various different kind of fintech and e-commerce businesses. So with that fantastic background, Alan leverages that network and experience that he's got to offer free consultations and very bespoke solutions to his client. What's more interesting, what I'm going to lead into directly, is Alan's passion for helping businesses succeed is only matched by his unique background, which includes appearances on 14 TV shows. Alan, how on earth do you move from TV shows into the digital facilitation world? How's that work?
I didn't realize you were going to start with that question. Thanks very much. So yeah, basically, yes, I have indeed been on 14 different TV shows in multiple countries. How it really started out was in 2002, someone said to me that I should actually go and become a TV or radio presenter over in the UK. Yes, I do have a face for radio. But in short, I thought it'd be a great way to get into TV by being a contestant on a multitude of different shows, including the likes of Love on a Saturday Night with Davina McCall, all the way down to Dick and Dom in the Bungalow. Yes, I have been on those shows. But in realistic terms, case where I was trying to be smart. I wanted to get into the industry. I thought it could be all the producers. Then they would get me in as a presenter somehow. That didn't obviously work. So then I had to go get a job after university, which started off at EasyJet, went into the world of sales, moved to London, and the rest is history. Then I moved into digital marketing in 2009.
Fantastic. And it's an interesting background. And I guess just kind of goes to reflect on the level of career support that a lot of people get at that young age in terms of helping people understand how they can actually get involved in the industries. And it is a lot easier than a lot of people think, but there are lots of pitfalls and red flags along the way to that route of getting there, you know. And I remember studying software engineering at school, at university, and being told that was how I needed to get involved in website design. Turned out I didn't really want to work in website design in the first place. I just thought I did. But with that kind of background, Alan, digital marketing, your unique business approach, what is it that you've set out Digital Facilitators to achieve?
This is probably going to burn a few bridges, but essentially that over the last 15 years, I've seen a lot of rogue agencies taking advantage of different businesses, different various sizes, B2B, B2C, D2C, UK, European-wide, international. And I was just basically sick of it, of the whole point is to help the business grow. And companies are saying, like, look, I don't want to move to another agency. I've been burnt 4 times, wasted tens of thousands of pounds. My business went under, had to start a new one. Various different things I've been told. So the Digital Facilitators is basically being set up to help prevent that. People can come to me completely free of charge. I'll do a full scope of the work that they need, put them in touch with the relevant people that will help them grow their business, whether it's online or offline, whilst not getting burnt. That's the ethos. We literally just want to help businesses grow from the ground up, whether you're a startup, scale up, enterprise. It really doesn't matter to us. We will help as many businesses as possible to make the right choices when it comes to choosing the right agencies or tech partners in the market.
I love people who have a passion behind what they do, Alan. And I think you can see the difference in the businesses that are therefore there's a great good that underlies the businesses, and yes, we've all got to kind of make money in order to pay the bills, but how you go about that and the way in which you pursue that very much speaks volumes about the people that you work with. Do you find that marketing agencies themselves do a lot of referral work the right way, or do you find that like the way that the system is built up doesn't do them a favor, if that makes sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense. I think it's a case where it really depends on the size of the agency and the targets and whatnot. So you'll have agencies that will spend a lot of money on the marketing, a lot of money on the event, and they just want to get as much new acquisitions as possible, where there's a lot of then what I'd call unqualified out leads or RFPs that didn't come to fruition, just sitting there. So that's actually something else that we do at the Digital Facilitators. We proactively ask businesses, agencies, tech partners, anything that's unqualified out, feel free to pass in my direction, because we want to help those businesses that they couldn't help in the first place. And then maybe we'll grow the businesses to a certain size, but they're then ready to go back to that agency and be one of their clients. Or maybe it's a case where the agencies are just too busy. They don't have the time. They have too many clients on board. They just can't help everybody. But they still feel the need that they have to keep that lead because they don't want to give it to their competition. They'll feel a bit dirty about that. So that's what I'm here to do the dirty work for them so they don't have to.
And I see loads of great businesses. There are whole businesses out there that could exist from almost the scrapings of bigger agencies' work, and I've been past some of those jobs myself, and like had some fantastic relationships with some people that are just bad fit for the others. And to your point, I'm sick of hearing how we shouldn't help the competition. There is no such thing as competition. If you know your business and you've built your business the right way up from the ground up, there is no competition because you are you and they are there, even if you do the same thing. Is that fair?
That's totally fair. And look, there's so much stuff out there. There's so many leads out there. You talk about the referral network, but the thing is, there's lots of agencies out there that are take. For example, and I don't mind using this. When I was at Bobble Digital, we gave away quite a lot of leads to certain agencies, especially on the web dev side, but zero was coming back in return. Literally zero is coming back in return. That's why I set it up in such a way that I want to make sure that people want to use digital facilitators for that need. So they're like, why should I give you all my leads, Alan? Why would I do that? That's just crazy talk. So what I offer is, if you don't mind me saying, anyone that I then place elsewhere, I'll give away 25% of the entire revenue that the TDF makes as a thank you. So for 10 seconds work, the biggest one we've done today was £5,500 that we gave to someone, and they only spent, I don't know, 2 days with us in regard to getting that project across the line. So not bad money to be had. And there's billions, not millions, billions out there that can be that left on the table.
Coming back to your experience then prior to building TDF, like Google and Bobble Digital, I imagine you've got some fantastic experiences that you've filled there. Do you want to give us a little bit more of the background that led you to the journey where you are right now?
Yeah, of course. I kind of fell into this world. So when I moved to Leeds in 2009, I was obviously applying for the various different roles, and then someone actually headhunted me across onto the Google side of things. So I found that really kind of like interesting. I didn't know what Google Ad was. It's kind of like similar, like when reg transfers, filling private number plates in one of my other roles. I didn't know what a V5 logbook was, but it was a case where that like was something that was growing. But now it's turned into an absolute animal of a system. During my time there, 6.5 years, I was teaching, training, educating agencies, mainly in the Australian, South African market. So South African obviously classified as a third world country, and I was there to help develop the agencies and educate them across all 8 platforms: search, display, mobile, YouTube, Google Shopping, GSP, Google Sponsor Promotion, Gmail Sponsor Promotions. But for me, it wasn't the education piece. It was making sure, again, that the agency was onboarding the right client in the right way and making sure that they are getting, value for money. Because there's nothing worse than seeing someone who being overpromised and under-delivered in regards to the money that's spending with an agency. And that's just my pet hate. I'm sorry, whoever's listening to this, but that's not something I condone. I just really honestly think, hand on heart, there's a more ethical way to do things whilst making some good money for your business.
Do you think that they even realize that that's the case, though?
Sure, look, I'll even say about Google themselves, and I don't mind saying this. I don't think they'll sue me because it's true. But like when you're there, they give you targets, which is fine, but you can't go to a company that's already spending, say, £100,000 a year and getting 5 times the return. Brilliant, making $500,000. Pick up the phone, tell them if they double their investment, they'll double their returns. No, they won't. Your cost per acquisition will rise, your ROAS will tank. Everyone knows that there is a ceiling and there is an incremental way of doing things, but as opposed to just saying, just get them to double down, get as much money out of them as humanly possible. It doesn't matter if they churn or not, because everyone wants to be a part of Google. And Google's like a necessary evil. Everyone needs to use Google, but that they have to use it by blasting through so much money just for the sake of doing it, that they don't.
What's more important in your eyes then? Is it what the client think they want, or is it the personal relationship with the agency that they end up working with?
Good question. I think it's a bit of both, if I'm honest. So obviously we want results at the end of the day, but the relationship needs to be there to make it work. At the same time, I've seen plenty of other companies where, I don't want to leave my agency, my mate from school, so on and so forth. You helped me start out. That's great. But he's now taking money from you whilst burning your business just because you have a friendship. Friendship aside, you need to be cherry pick and be very careful on who you want to work with and for how long. Over time, stuff can get soured very, very quickly. So as long as the results are there, brilliant. As long as you have a great relationship, brilliant. But the two should go hand in hand. That the people behind the wheel need to make sure that they're steering your business ship in the right direction.
So if you're a small business owner out there, small to medium enterprise out there, how do you know when it's time to shift your marketing partner or your agency? How do you know when they're... Because a lot of it's black box stuff, right? Like a lot of it's kind of hidden behind the scenes, and you're painted a very nice picture up front. And from your perspective, I guess you just feel like you're not doing the right things in the business. Hi, and thanks for joining us for the show. I'm Paul, founder here at Javelin Content Management. We specialize in getting ideas out of your head, down into video, and out to your social media through repurposing and efficient content strategies. If you want to find out how you can convert your ideal audience into paying customers, reach out to us, javelincontent.com, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the episode.
Yeah, unfortunately, as a founder or as a business owner, you have to wear many hats, quite understanding everything. But again, this is what the agencies need to kind of take a bit more ownership. So many agencies out there will help people create accounts on Google or Meta or paid or website, whatever, but they won't give them access to it. They won't allow them to see what's under the hood. They won't teach, train, or educate them as part of the package. And I'm not saying teach them to the point where they're going to go, right, I know everything now. Thanks very much. I'm off. Cheers in the last 6 years or 6 months or 6 weeks. But within reason, that is building a brand or owns a website or has something in e-commerce, for example. First rule, make sure you get access to everything because you're paying for it. So why aren't you? Rule 2 is make sure that you have firm goals and aspirations and KPIs that you both agree on. What's realistic, what's not realistic. And thirdly, communication is key. So I'm not saying that as a business, you need to hound your agency 24/7, but at the same time, have more than a monthly meeting where they just simply say, oh, this is your results this month. See you next month. You're paying hundreds, if not thousands of pounds or tens of thousands of pounds. Get value in the relationship as well. That's my 3 tips.
And on the flip side of that, if you've realized that it's come to the end of your time with your current agency and it's time to move on, maybe you've outgrown them, maybe you're just going in a different track, or maybe you've never had one and you're looking for somebody for the first time. How can business owners out there ensure that they meet the right agency for them? Like, how do they do, I guess, what you're doing?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And look, and that's why TDF was created, right? Because I saw someone literally a few months ago, they went to 23 RFP. If you don't know what it is, request for proposal, okay? The amount of time and energy consumed inside of that. And even at the end of it, they didn't find the right agency or tech partner or solution. So they spent months and months and months going through all that rigmarole. They wasted time, they wasted money, they weren't able to find the right people. And that's why the Digital Facilitators was created, to help alleviate the time and money, make sure you don't get burned, make sure you put in front of the right people at the right time. Our USP is that you'll always get to speak to 3 people per segment. If you're doing attribution modeling or creating a new Shopify store, I've already done all the work for you, But if you don't want to use my services for free, that's fine. If you want to go out by yourself, make sure you do your due diligence. Make sure that you're working with people that have your intentions at heart. Okay. Make sure that they are working already with people in your industry. So if you're going to do, I don't know, say you're selling mobile phones, what experience do they have in selling mobile phones? How many countries? How much have they grown the business? Was it an entry level business? Was it someone that they're scaling up? Just do your due diligence and making sure it's the right fit across the board, and ask as many questions as humanly possible and educate yourself. Don't feel the need to not know anything about your business in regards to how social media or, the digital marketing side of things work. Educate yourself where you can as a business owner, as best you can, because that will help you make better decisions and trust certain people when it comes to actually spending your money on their behalf.
If it was to bring it back to digital marketing and what's going on in the industry as a whole right now, what are some of the things that you've seen coming out as trends in digital marketing that you're quite excited about, perhaps that you're seeing a lot of people coming to you who are interested to do more with? Is there anything, we've seen AI and emerging technologies like that coming out. Is there something that's particularly floating your boat at the moment?
I think the whole world of TikTok shop is quite interesting. I was at a talk a while ago, and I think they said that's going to turn into like a $100 business in the next kind of like 4 or 5 years, which is totally bananas. But I can see the reasons why. I can see like the short form video they use to generate content. I can see the deliverabilities. It's not just for, the younger generation. Like, I'm 43. It's demographics across the board that are using it. And I even went actually today, funnily enough, and bought something on TikTok shop for the first time. So let's see what happens with that. But in regards to anything else that's excites me, there's so many kind of like different brands coming out there. The fact that people are giving it a go to create their own business, I think the pandemic really accelerated that. I think it was something like 185,000 brand new e-commerce stores were built in the UK alone in the first 2 years of the pandemic. So the crazy world out there is competitive, exciting. Can I cherry pick 1 or 2 things that really excite me? No. Can I cherry pick something that scares the crap out of me? Yes. AI really scares me. Without being funny, if anyone's ever seen the Terminator movie, it's actually 2027 where the Terminator movie is set, 3 years from now. So let's just make sure that we're careful on how we're using AI, folks. Okay, we don't want to make sure that we end up in that kind of situation. Not saying that we will. But look, there's just so many things, moving components. Google's changing all the time, moving from UA to GA4. Sorry, we all hate it. Please go back to Universal Analytics, please. It's just an exciting time. It's an explosive time. If you're trying to get into digital marketing for the first time or looking for a career, digital marketing is where it's at. This is where you need to be. If you don't like a 9 to 5 in the retail world in a shop, get into digital marketing because it's going to be a job for life.
Having lived that life, I can vouch for that. And then I guess what's something that really gets your goat right now in terms of marketing?
So if you're a business owner and you just set up an e-commerce brand, you just think to yourself, I need everything. I need social media. I need this. I need that. I need to do all of this, but I need to do it all for £100. So, for example, I spoke to someone this morning who came to TDF, and they're doing, naming no names, but a luxury handbag company. And he's looking at content management, SEO, social media management. I was like, okay, what's your goal? I said, in the next 3 months, I'm going to ship 500 units of what I'm selling. Perfect. How many have you sold so far this year? I've been active 4 months and sold 12. What have you been doing? Influencer marketing, micro ones. I was like, okay, fine. What do you want to spend in the next 3 months? It's like, okay, in the next 3 months, I really want to spend £5,000 and I want to cover all of that. And I just said simply to him, sorry, mate, the chance in hell. So in realistic terms, you're looking at between £50 to £100 a day in spend. Then you got to pay agency fees, shipping fees, this and that and the other. I said, what you really need to do is go down to the bare basics. Get some user-generated content done. I'll introduce it to some women I know that are in that space, because obviously I'm just going to make sure the demographic honed in on a 25 to 45 female. And he was happy with that. I did the introductions with him. They've already set up the meeting, and we'll see where it goes. But I know what your question was, and the answer really is as simple as this, that don't expect the world. Small budget. If you're going to be a business owner, make sure you have some kind of budget to be actionable inside the market. £5,000 over 3 months to try and launch a luxury brand. I'd much rather that individual would reel that back in, add on double the amount of money to make it work for them, because there's nothing worse than taking a small budget and blasting through it, and therefore you're back to square one with no money.
I think it's a hard decision for business owners because it's a bit of a black box. Let's be honest, marketing, there's so much, we talk about marketing agency, but there are a million different types of marketing agency, let alone technologies and infrastructures and things. And from the outside, it all kind of seems very simple, right? Like I get a website set up and somebody places some ads for my behalf and I pay them some money and then that goes out to people and people come and buy from me. And I think agencies themselves, there are some cheaper agencies out there that are kind of setting us up for failure in that regard as business owners, because they're offering, the classic clickbait. I see this all the time with sales companies.
Yeah.
I'll generate you 30 leads in 30 days, not a money back guaranteed.
Right.
And that drives me wild because
I get so many of those a day. It's ridiculous. Right? And it's bad in a sense, because I know people need to earn money, but like, because one person's gone on and been semi-successful, then you have another like 20, 30, 40, 50, people in their early 20s. And I'm not knocking trying to start a business. I am for that. Fantastic. Well done. Keep going. But don't come straight out of the university or from under a rock and start charging 50, 100, 200, 300 pounds in lead when you're a week old. You got to build yourself up. You got to make sure that you have proof of concept of what you're delivering. I'll give a quick example of that. So I consult for a lot of companies as well at the moment, as well as doing PDF. And in the background, someone said to me, right, in the next 6 weeks, I want you to deliver 10 tangible leads to me, Alan. I was like, okay, fine, not a problem. Challenge accepted. Anyone that knows me, I'm very, very, very competitive in regard to what I do. And by the end of 6 weeks, I think I ended up on 46 instead of 10. And my point is, and I'm not trying to big myself up, by the way, my point is, make sure that you can deliver and then some, because it makes you look stronger in the market. If you are literally going out there from day one and ripping people off, you're going to blacklist yourself very, very, very quickly. Learn your trade under someone, and then if you want to go alone after you created your black book, cool, do that. But don't come out day one, all guns blazing, thinking that you're the bee's knees when you still haven't learned to walk yet.
It makes a very hard environment for marketing agencies that do deliver to have a serious conversation with people. And I've seen this loads. Like even I work with a lot of marketers, and up until recently, I had no idea how much SEO cost. And I've gone to my partners and gone, right, if I had some disposable income from the business and I could put, I don't know, £300 a month away, that's going to get me some results, right? And I got, no,
Add a zero.
Don't bother. You might as well just go into the pub and spend it. All right, okay. So what do I need to spend? Add a zero.
Exactly. This is what I used to do as an analogy years ago at Google, right? So I used to say to a company, how many people work there? Like 20. Okay, 20 people. Do you all drink coffee? Actually, yeah, we do. Where'd you go? Starbucks. Brilliant. So how much you spend between you in Starbucks a week? I don't know. Probably like $1,000. You're telling me that you spend $1,000 a week in Starbucks, $4,000 a month, £48,000 a year, but you're not willing to spend the equivalent to target millions of people on Google. Do you see what's wrong with that? Give up copy for a year. I want to make sure that you make enough profit on the back of that 48 grand spend that pays for the coffee, and you get your money back and you make some profit. So these are part of the analogies that I used to use. Like, where's the value from this? Well, where's the value from spending £20 a day on coffee? Where's the value from that? Oh, it keeps me going. Well, if you want to keep your business going, then stick a bit of cash into it.
I love that story. That is brilliant. That is a great analogy. I hope that helps bring it to life for some people. But I think, if you are talking to people and you're wanting to increase your digital presence, you're wanting to increase your digital market, and it's clear from the conversation today is like, one, have realistic expectations of what you're going to achieve with the budget that you've got,
100%.
and two, make sure you get into bed with the right partner who's got your best intentions at heart, right?
Exactly, 110%. And that's all I ever wish for anyone, is don't make any silly mistakes. And if you're questioning yourself, as I said, pick up the phone, drop me a message. Oh, Alan, what do you think of this agency? Oh, they're brilliant at this, they're poor at that. Okay, great. Actually, I wanted to use them for what they're poor at. Who'd you recommend? I'll give them some options. And I'm yet to have an unsatisfied customer in that sense. You have to have someone turn around and say, Alan, what was that intro? That guy is rubbish. I vet everyone that I work with hard. I even go to the point of saying, how many services do you have? 10 services. What are they? They list them all. Put them in order. They're like, what do you mean put them in order? What are you good at? What are you mediocre at? What are you absolute rubbish at? Because whatever you're rubbish at, I don't want to promote your service because there's no point in burning more people with that service. If you want to sell it, I'm not going to push it my side.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I had this exact conversation with Barney Durant a few weeks ago, and Barney was like, people start out and they have a specialism, and as they grow, they add a couple more specialisms, and that's fine. You can have 3 or 4 specialisms as an agency. But if you're talking to someone and they tell you, well, we're a one-stop shop, we do everything, then alarm bells should be ringing, because they can't be everything. Because even just something like Google AdWords in itself is a huge industry and niche to be able to specialize in it in the first place. To add even just a couple of things beyond that is probably quite hard for a business who's good at it to do. Yeah. So think realistically, if you were to specialize in your own industry in 10 things, would you really be a specialist, or would you be more of a generalist? And I think that's what businesses need to kind of get their head around a little bit when they're looking for that ideal partner. Alan, it's been fantastic chatting with you. I've really appreciated the candor and passion in your conversation. It's been refreshing to hear somebody who's not afraid to kind of get the guns out and just kind of give people both barrels, because I think it's time the industry had that shake up. Thanks very much for your time.
No worries. It's a pleasure. And thanks again for the opportunity. Just as a closing note, just do your due diligence. Make sure that the people that you're hiring to do the job also have the time to do it. Because so many times you're paying companies that are going to support you, but then you get left behind because they were spending their time on other clients as opposed to your own accounts or structure or strategies. Just make sure that you have the right people in the right place at the right time. And if you don't know, then obviously reach out to Paul. He can reach out to me on your behalf. More than happy to have a conversation. But thank you so much for having me today. Really appreciate it. And as a closing note, have a great summer, everyone.
Thanks very much, Alan. Really appreciate your time. And if you're watching the show, thank you for being a supporter of the show. Thank you for subscribing and following us. And if you know anybody who'd be a great guest on the show, whether as a business owner or a marketing agency owner, we would love to chat with them and potentially get them on the show. The link to register for that will be in the show notes, or you can just drop me a message and we'll have a conversation. We'll see you next Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us for today's show. I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to feature on a future show, or you've got some ideas for folks who would make a great guest, please drop us a line. Contact details are in the show notes, and I'd love to hear from you. Your host today was me, Paul Banks, founder at Javelin Content Management. Here at Javelin, we specialise in helping busy business owners just like you to repurpose video content, taking all the stress and tech problems away and turning your long-form video into literally hundreds of pieces of content without breaking the bank. We describe it as getting ideas out of your head into video and out to your socials. If you want to launch your personal brand, become the vendor of choice for your audience, or maximise your sales revenue impact, we'd love to hear from you. Join us next Wednesday for the next episode, and don't forget to subscribe and give us a review. Our podcast is only possible with your continued support.